Hi, hello, welcome to another conversation with Glenn, Tiffany Siegel, Glenn Beck, Dan Andros here. It's been a while since we talked. We didn't have one last week. Quite a lot has happened
Yes.
in that time. And we had the Grover show. We've had, what else? The Navy SEALs show. A lot of
Yes.
cool different shows. So I just wanted to get your vibe on what you thought of the last week and a half or so.
I think it's been fun, been exciting. I don't know if the audience sees that we are pushing and changing, and I hope they do, and I hope they're excited about. I mean, we're just experimenting with things right now, and trying new things, and I haven't been this excited about the show since I was at Fox.
They seem to really gravitate towards the Navy SEAL show, which was a really different experiment for us because you opted out of it on purpose.
Can't do any more shows.
Yeah.
I'm looking for things that I would really want to see myself, and that's one of them. I'd love to see that.
Why
I
do you-
totally agree with that, by the way. Just get you out of the camera, and I'm just
No, seriously.
But seriously, that was a good call on that one because I think you said it in
Changed
the
it.
show, but it takes out that like formal, the question, and
Yeah.
they just start riffing, and it's just like
But
that's
why
what
do
you
you
want to
think
see
that strikes
with
such a
those
chord?
guys.
Because Marcus, Pete, those guys have been on our show many times, but we've never had so much feedback as
Because because it was genuine, real, no filter in between. It was them, not me in between, them. And they led the conversation. It went where they wanted it to go.
Yeah.
And I would have changed that by putting me or anybody else in. It would have changed that dynamic. And I mean, I just got an email from Pete and Marcus last night. We have some really exciting things we're going to announce on radio for Blaze Radio coming soon. A couple of announcements that are really exciting. And then they want to do. They're all over me, going, "Hey, let's do the TV thing. Let's do that."
the thing that stood out, I think, to a lot of people was we've talked so much about the VA scandal and the money, and we've gone over it ad nauseum. But when you had him sitting there saying, "I'm not a starfish, my leg's not growing back,
It's
why are you
hysterical.
making me get an x-ray
Yeah.
of my amputated leg?" That explains
That's
it.
why.
Yeah.
And again, if I would have done it, it's me trying to get to the VA scandal.
Right.
They're just talking.
Yeah, and then
They,
the other
they
one,
all
yeah.
lived it.
Yeah.
They've all been at the VA.
And the other one that stood out was when he said they called out these young guys that have. He's like, "Oh, I saw a Humvee on fire." Now we can't. Us as civilians, we can't call out a guy who served and said only saw a Humvee on fire. But those guys
here's one
can
of the
then get
things-
100% from the VA.
Here's one of the things that made me question, and I have to go back and talk to them now about it. Thank you for your service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never heard that opinion before.
No, and I've
And I
never
say
been
it-
with you when you don't say it.
I know, and now I feel bad. I say it all the time.
What was their qualification though? If you don't mean it, or you're
That
feeling
it's
you're
just
out
like
of
saying "God bless
obligation?
you" after you sneeze.
Right, like when
you
there's
don't
no
mean
actual
it.
sincerity behind it. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was more than that. They were like, when you hear that, all I remember are all the bad times.
Yeah.
You know, it brings me back to all those things that
Right.
happened. So I don't know what to do with that now. So I mean, but they would not have said that if I were sitting there. I wouldn't have brought it up, but they wouldn't have said that because they know I've said that to each of them.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
they wouldn't have said that. So what does that mean? That was great. I love
That's
that.
really
show.
good.
Yeah.
One of the other things you did this week that is total change of direction is you launched your women's denim line.
Yeah.
A promise you made to your girls.
Yeah, I did, to myself and to my girls. And I'm really excited about it. I don't know if you guys have been up to 1791. Have you seen the
beautiful.
things that they're doing? My gosh. We're about to do the full women's line. We have a new men's line coming out. And then by fall, we have the Edward Jansen line, which is what our jeans are made of now is the end cut, which is the best quality of the loom. And so, but it's way expensive. And so we're going down from that in the Edward Jansen line, which would make the jeans about half the cost, maybe about, I'm trying to keep it, $79, something like that. Still an expensive jean, but all made in America, real rivets and everything else. And just make the clothes now affordable. We couldn't do that originally because we were so small. Now we're getting bigger. And Stetson has come to us, and Stetson wants to make a 1791 brand of hats that hopefully that will come out. I wanted to go to the Stetson place today and see the hats and pick out the hats. I mean, that's incredible.
That's awesome.
Red Wing Shoes is now partnering with 1791, making great boots for us. I mean, it's really exciting, really exciting. I'm disappointed that the reaction, and I understand it, because they are expensive. I'm disappointed that people are thinking that, you know, somehow or another we're just making all this money and getting rich off of it or whatever, because we're not. Literally every dime that we make goes back into the product to make it better and to, you know, to launch these new brands. It's made in America. I don't think people always say, I want it made in America, but they don't understand what that means.
Yeah, and all the kids we've got working up in the closets up there, here they have unions, so they cost a lot.
No, but I mean, they really don't understand what that means, and they don't know what it means to be a small business, a really small business. There's, you know, people can make jeans cheaper and make them in America if you're doing the quantity.
Right.
We're not doing the
You're
quantity.
Walmart or Target.
We're a small little niche business.
Yep.
So I think the theme is kind of like, if you don't like how something's done, you do it yourself today,
Right.
right? So one other thing that's happening this holiday weekend is you've got a big event that they're preparing. It's why we're in here today, because they're preparing for it out there.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about doing something yourself
Keys
here.
to the Kingdom. I just saw the rough cut of what will premiere tomorrow of History House, and it is magic. It is magic. The most cynical, the most bean counter of us was up with us, and he watched it with his mouth open and said, I can't believe
What's that?
this
Who's the
is
most
what
bean counter of
know.
us? That's an after-hours conversation.
Yeah. So I can't believe that this is what you guys are making just right down there, you know. And it's magic, and it's unlike anything you've seen before. It really is. And so we have the people who helped. You know, we offered keys to the kingdom, and so Tanya and I are going to be greeting a whole bunch of people here tomorrow, and we're opening up our chocolate factory. And Tanya and I are taking them on tours and show them everything. We're going to let them play around, and then it all ends tomorrow night with a really magical dinner and performance for these people, because it was $5,000 a seat.
Yeah. How's that like? What does that do to you when you got? You know, I know when I just have guests over, I'll get a little nervous or something. Like, you've got these people coming in, they spend a lot of money. Like, does it make you nervous? Are you just excited?
No,
or you know?
I'm excited. I'm proud of what we've built here. You know, I'm proud of what we've done here with our show. You know, the Glenn Beck show is as good as it was at any other time. I wasn't able to say that a year ago when I was sick, but we are on it, and the Glenn Beck show is now as good as it ever was at the pinnacle at Fox. That's really exciting. So I'm not worried about that. I know what we've done at History House, and this is really one of the coolest buildings in America. I mean, we have people, I've been to Facebook. I think that's amazing. I've had people who work at Facebook come in here and say, this is better than Facebook. I don't agree with it, but that's what they've said. And so it's fun. Yeah. Opening up, it really is Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. Yeah. Opening up and having them see it is great.
So speaking of chocolate, the last thing, how do you spend your Easter? America wants to know.
America wants to know?
Yeah.
Or Tiffany wants to know?
The chocolate industry. Chocolate industry wants to know.
America will, yeah, that's more like it. Really had a hard time with the chocolate thing lately.
You can't have it? Can you have chocolate? Not at all?
No.
Oh.
His big treat of the week was matzah.
Oh, man.
Which is like eating
and I shouldn't have had that.
Wallpaper.
I know. I'm speaking at church on Sunday.
Your church?
My church, which is a little nerve-wracking. They're expecting, I don't know, 1,000 people, 1,500 people. And the only time I ever get nervous is at church, because it's not my time, it's his time, and speak his words, not my words. So it's really that makes me nervous. And then we have some friends coming over, and Robert, and his family, they're like Robert's my brother, so it's my nephews and my brother, and we'll just spend it all day. And I'm lucky enough to have friends in Roma Downey and Mark Burnett, and so they sent me the first few episodes of AD, and so we'll just watch a couple of episodes of AD.
Good. We're hoping to have them on the show next week, so
Really?
we'll give them some feedback. Yes.
No, it's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really. I've seen it already. I previewed it, and it's really good.
Cool.
Cool.
All right.
Good.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Happy
Happy
Easter.
Easter. Happy Passover.
Yes.